Hi guys, and welcome back to an Actor's Notebook. I know it's been a while since I've done a sit-down vlog for you guys. I've been really crazy, as I'm sure we all have with this pandemic. Um, Also, I've been just going through a lot. If you saw my last vlog, I talked about my dog of 13 years um, and how he was not doing so well. And we have been trying all these different things, and it was starting to work. Well, as of 4 days ago, we had to put down my baby Wonder, and he was in a lot of pain. We did everything we could. He had a really good life, and he was starting to do that thing that dogs do when they know they're about to go, withdrawing from us, and kind of like digging himself a hole in the backyard. So it was time, and it was very hard, but it happened. So, yeah, with that being said, I am starting to do vlogs again now. Um, so, today's vlog, as you can guess based on the title, is about virtual self-tape challenges. Woo! But not just virtual self-tape challenges, the monologue Mondays, the scene self-tape Thursdays or whatever. Every casting director has a different thing going. Some of them are virtual open calls, casting calls, and stuff like that. So that's very cool for you guys. And I'm just going to talk about right now kind of that process and finding monologues for that, and why it's great for you guys to do that right now and take advantage of that opportunity. So, monologues. I've been watching a lot of the winners for the self tape challenges, and I've also seen what has gotten me farther in the process. And I've also watched a lot of Instagram lives, talked to a lot of casting directors, had some Q&As with a lot of casting directors. Um, all the people that are doing these like open calls and casting calls and stuff like that. So I am here to tell you that for a lot of the television scene, commercial type, they want to see monologues that are really from television shows, not really any a lot of people have been doing monologues from Scandal, and they're like, please, no more monologues from Scandal. But if you do it right, hey, props to you. But sometimes if you're seeing a lot of the same monologues, people aren't going to want, even if it's amazing, even if it's like knock your socks off. If they've already seen 12 different versions of that, sometimes they just don't want to see another one. So I would say kind of stay away from that. I would also say if you're doing a well-known television show, stay away from monologues that are a staple for that television show. Like if you're doing Grey's Anatomy, you might not want to do any of the staples of that one, he's not the son you are, or you don't get to call me a whore. Like those kind of monologues you might want to stay away from, because they are monumental. Everyone knows the original, and honestly, a lot of people are going to want to do that. They're going to want to do those monologues. I would say pick ones that best suit you, and I mean your type. And by type, I don't always mean your race or it has nothing to do with your ethnicity. Sometimes if you want to play more into that, and if you want to take advantage of the fact that you are Asian and that there's probably not that many Asian girls going for this one thing, fine. But if you love that monologue and that person in the original series was white, with blonde hair, blue eyes, and that's not you, I'll do that anyway. Honestly, I would do it anyway, because right now isn't the time to play to that kind of type. That was what the director and casting director wanted for that specific role, but that doesn't mean that you can't kill that monologue. You can kill it and be amazing at it. But I would choose like the smaller, like little monologues that people don't necessarily notice, but it's perfect for someone who plays the ages of 16 to 23. If it's in that age bracket and you can do it well, do that. I wouldn't do something that's not in your age bracket, because that's what really matters right now. That's what they're thinking about when they're going to cast things in the future. They're thinking, okay, what age is she? Okay, what location is she? You want to have all of that. And then they also want to get a sense of your personality. So you want to do monologues and types that you're good for, but also do something that shows a little bit of you. Not too much, because also they're going to ask for a slate, and you want your slate to basically kind of show your personality. Now, that being said, you don't want your slate to be like 2 minutes long. I had a live chat where someone said that their slate was like 2-3 minutes long, and like, literally, how's that possible? They don't want to know your entire history. They don't want to know everything that you're doing in quarantine. If they don't ask for that information, don't give it to them. They just want to see a little bit of you. So an example of a slate, maybe I'll attach an example of one of my slates. But basically, what I would say was, hi guys, my name is Cashay Mumford. I am based in New York, and I'm doing a whatever from whatever. You know what I mean? But I would be upbeat, bubbly, depending on how I'm feeling that day. If we're going to be honest, like, you want to see me, you're going to see me. You know what I mean? Me and my character are going to be different always. I'm hardly ever like my characters that I play, because a lot of the characters that I play are that girl that's like, it's the person that's going to cut your head off, or it's the person who's in like a ball crying, or I just play so many different roles, and now that we're getting to pick kind of our roles and pick what we're good at and show that to casting directors, I'm leaning into all my different types. But I'm staying in that age bracket, so that's very important. I suggest you do any monologues from any family's home, so you might hear them because they're super loud. I suggest you do any monologues from any of your favorite shows. And then I also suggest you post those on Instagram and tag those people. You can see so many of my self-tapes quarantine on Instagram right now. I highly recommend you do that. Also, though, if you are trying to get in touch with me through DMs on Instagram, super cool. But right now I am working with a bunch of different companies where they're sending me clothes, sending me jewelry. This was free, and I'm taking pictures of that. So I do have a lot of them in my DMs, and I don't want to mix up the two. I've also gotten some comments about people wanting my email. I really highly recommend you just DM me on Instagram. If you do want my email, I will list it down below. I will list my Actors Notebook email, but I check that one not as often as I should. I really should check it more, but I don't, because I have 5 different emails. I have emails for like every job that I have. Like, the one I check the most, of course, is my CashayMumford@gmail. That is my actors. That's the one that everyone sends everything to. That's when I know when my callbacks are. That's like my central one for acting and playwriting and those and theater and all those kind of things. Then I have another one for just regular business, like less about the arts and more about just strictly business. And then I have another, like I just have so many, another one dedicated to fashion and all that kind of stuff. So I just have so many, but I will try and start looking at my Actors Notebook email, which is just actorsnotebook@gmail. I will list it down below for you guys, so that if you have any questions, you can send me an email. I highly recommend you just DM me at Cashay Mumford on Instagram. Just DM me at Cashay Mumford on Instagram. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna tell you guys for self-tapes today. I also heard this thing that a lot of casting, not a lot, everyone's different. But I do know that some casting directors don't want you using a blue background or a green background because they say it does something with your skin. Now, for me, as an African American, it perfectly, and the kind of blue that I have is perfect for my skin tone. It doesn't turn me orange. I don't know what would turn someone orange. Maybe it's like for someone with a different ethnicity. I'm not sure. I've never really had anything that's turned me orange unless I was on stage and I was being lit in a certain lighting and it just was not complimentary to an African American woman. But and I could tell them. I know which lights work for me. But if someone doesn't want you to do it with a blue background, they want you to do it with a white, which for me sometimes washes me out and makes me not the actual color that I am. Then do that. Just do whatever they want. I highly recommend you following them on Instagram, knowing the casting directors that are doing these self-tape challenges, that are doing these monologue Mondays and open calls, some of which you can find through Actors Access, some of them which you can find through Backstage. Most of them are going to be on Actors Access, not Backstage, but I did find one that was on Backstage. Backstage right now is having a lot of shorts and a lot of I guess feature films that aren't going into 2021, but I mean, now's your time. They're seeing you. They're seeing non-unions. They're seeing people who may not be completely union yet, but are on their way. I'm not going to get into all the terminology because I'm not expecting everyone to know it. But this is your time. Follow those people on Instagram. Look and see what they want. Look and see who's the winners of their challenges and what they like. Because that person could be just as good as you, but they might not do something the way that you want. I know one casting director really loves comedic monologues and really is tired of all the dramatic monologues. When they say that, whip out your best comedic monologue and send it their way, because now you're knowing what they want. You're knowing because you're following them on Instagram, you're following their website, and you're invested in this. So I highly recommend you do that. And how do you find those casting directors that you want to know more about? Look and see of all the things that you've applied for. Look at the casting directors for the stuff that you've applied for, and then find them on Instagram. If they're not on Instagram, which some of them use a different name on Instagram because they're smart, then bypass them and find another one, or find their assistant casting director, or find what their intern, whatever. Find something that is affiliated with that, and go after it, because you want to know what that person's doing, because you're already interested in the work that they're getting. You see what I mean? You're already interested in whatever film that you apply for, whatever theater that you applied for. Follow those people, because they're going to, if they're doing any self-tape challenges, if they're doing any monologue Mondays or anything like that, or if they're wanting you to send in any scenes or any open calls, that is how they're going to reach you. Right now, that is how everyone is reaching everyone, is through social media. So get an Instagram if you don't have one, and if you do have one, go find them. Don't stalk them. Don't send them messages and DM them to your heart's content, because a lot of them are getting a lot of those DMs and they're not looking at them. They're just not. They're getting too many. I've gotten quite a lot of DMs since this pandemic has happened, and everyone's on a break, and some people are watching my vlogs and DMing me, and I can't even keep up with all of them, and I'm nowhere near the amount of followers that these casting directors are. So if I can't do it, and I'm hearing that they can't do it on their live, I wouldn't waste my time to do it. What I would do is make sure that they're seeing my work. So I would maybe tag them in anything that I put on Instagram, of any self-tapes I'm putting on Instagram, because maybe they'll see it. I might tag them in a story of mine and say that they inspire me, because maybe then they'll see that and they'll want to come to your page. Do things like that. I wouldn't really go for them in the DMs. I might comment on a few of their posts, but I wouldn't go hard, because they're not going to read those messages in your DM, in their DMs. So I wouldn't do that, but I would follow them. I would maybe comment on some of their stuff, maybe tag them in some of my things. But only if they're really doing self-tape challenges would I tag them in any of my self-tapes. Because if they're not doing that, if they're posting about their family, then maybe they're trying to have family time and less work time. Maybe that's what they need for this moment. So just kind of read the room. basically, but not really the room. Just read their Instagram and kind of see where they are. But that's how you find the people who you want to follow on Instagram, is by looking at the work that you've submitted for. And if you submit it to the same casting director a lot, follow them on Instagram. Or if you have one passion project and you really wanted to be in this project but you didn't get it, follow that casting director on Instagram too, because while they can't tell you why they didn't pick you, maybe it's just because you didn't look right for the role, maybe it's because the director didn't want you, maybe it's because you don't do the acting style that the director likes. Whatever it is, follow that person on Instagram and you'll know everything else that they're going to be doing, everything else that they're going to be casting. And also, you never know, that project might need more people and you might be right for the role. And if you follow them on Instagram and kind of get an insight for what they like, how they feel, for people in the room, you know, like how they want someone to act when they're in the room. Sometimes a lot of people right now have been posting all of those things on live and stuff like that. Of course, when you're in the room or when you're in a self-tape, it's mostly about being yourself and being professional, and also thanking everyone in that room for their time, but not being a chatty Cathy. They're here for a job, you're here for a job. You can look in some of my older vlogs and I will tell you how to act in the room. But because we're on self-tape, basically how to act in the self-tape is not to, in your slate, have it be 3 minutes. Have it be a nice 10 seconds, nice 15 seconds, 30 seconds if you're feeling frisky, you know, but they don't need to know about your struggles during quarantine. They just want to see your work and get a sense of your personality, because quarantine is temporary. But when they start casting you in and when they're looking for work, they want to know, oh, this person is professional. Oh, this person has a light energy to them. I like them. I can probably use them for this role. Oh, and they're also a great actor and they act like this and this is what they see themselves as. You know what? So that's what you're working for. Because even if you don't win, even if you don't get the general audition or anything like that, these casting directors, if they like you, if you get to a certain point in this process where they keep looking at your work and they're like, wow, she's applied to a lot of stuff, and everything that she's applied to, she's taken it a different way. She's acted in all these variety of types while staying in her age range. And that's just very interesting to me. I want to keep her to the side. You know what I mean? For later work. That is how this business works. Sometimes they see you, you're not right. Maybe there's other competition that's better at this time for what they are feeling in the moment. But maybe they'll remember you and they'll save you for later. That's just how it happens. But yes, so all of these things I hope help you for your self-tapes, your virtual auditions, or any of those calls, casting calls that's happening right now. So yeah, feel free to DM me any questions that you have. Comment down below. Also, guys, you can use the comments. I know some of you feel like your questions are really personal, but a lot of the people have the same question and I'm answering in the same DMs. So feel free to comment down below. We're a family here, and I'm just here to help you guys. So I hope this helped. This is probably a really long vlog, but I haven't vlogged in a while. I'll get the hang of it again and make it short and sweet and beautiful. But right now, I was just talking to you guys. I'm sorry about all the noise in the background. We're quarantine people. There's not a time for me to have a quiet space. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and comment down below. I will also put my email in the bio from now on for all of you that want to email me. Comment also down below that you're emailing me, because again, I have a lot of emails. I have a lot of things to do even during this quarantine. I might not look at it for like months, so just comment down below and I will check it out. Yeah, I hope I helped you guys. Love you all and have a great, safe day, week, and I hope you all stay healthy and stay safe. Bye guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that jazz.